Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We'll be looking at some stories on the show this evening and making the rounds in the world of sports concerning Nigerian stories, and we'll also look at the leagues that will match days over the weekend in Europe and also in Nigerian Premier Football League. Though we'll look at the results of the NPFL match 11 in the morning. We'll also bring back that result, and also we'll look at the table this evening also for the Nigerian Premier Football League. But a particular story coming in from the match the 11th. But let's begin from this one. It concerns boxing. A lot of boxing pundits have been expecting this to happen, but the news coming in from The Hain, that is the promoter of Nigerian British born, whichever way you call him. He is of a Nigerian descent, but representing Britain. That is Anthony Joshua coming in from The Hain. The Hain confirmed Joshua return for May 2025. So every possibility of Joshua fighting Daniel Dubois in a rematch before the end of the year right now is no longer possible. That will no longer happen, but we'll have to keep our fingers crossed till May next year and see who Anthony Joshua, is going to be fighting, because a lot of ex-boxers, boxing pundits, lover of the sport, have actually been advising Joshua, since he lost that fight to Daniel Dubois in the 4th round, to actually take a break and then go back, reassess himself, and come back fully into the sport. Because for Joshua himself, he said he has set a target to join the likes of Lennox Lewis and co, who has won the WBC title, who has become world champions on 3 occasions. So 2 times he has been world champion. Now he also wants to join that realm where he will be one of the fighters, one of the boxers who were world champions on 3 good occasions. So that is what Joshua is actually looking at. But right now he has to go back to the ring. He has to go back to the gym, assess himself, look at where he got it wrong against Daniel Dubois, and then probably by May next year, that is 2025, we will see Joshua returning into the boxing ring, where he will do where he's going to do what he knows how to do best, with his fist. So we wish Joshua well as he tries to come back into the sport strong and better. All right, let's leave the boxing story this evening, and we'll go straight to that is Liberia, where the women's FIBA Women's Basketball Africa League is ongoing. That is African Qualifier Zone 3. In Zone 3, we have our own MFM, Nigeria MFM, who defeated their counterpart Customs Ladies in the semi-final to pick the final ticket. Now MFM Ladies will be representing Nigeria, and then from the zone, one of the teams that will be playing are the Women Basketball League Africa. We know that the guys also they also play their own. Well, we have River Super last season coming back with the bronze medal. And it was quite an interesting game between MFM and Customs of Abuja. These 2 teams met in the Women's Basketball League final just some weeks ago. MFM defeated Customs Ladies, and this time around, for the 2nd time in space of some weeks, beating Customs Ladies again in that particular game to pick the final ticket. The top 2 teams from the zone will be representing the zone at the Women Basketball League Africa. So MFM is one of those teams that will be representing the region, that is Zone 3, for the Women Basketball League Africa. Congratulations to them. That game ended 57-53 in favor of the MFM ladies. It was quite an interesting game. Customs took the 1st quarter, and then the 2nd quarter, MFM bounced back. The 3rd quarter was more or less a battle between the 2 teams, and then the 4th quarter is when Customs actually they lost focus a little bit, and they were punished by Hemba Wando, a lady who contributed quite 12 points to that number of points that MFM ladies they gifted her with a 3-pointer. She was able to rescue that win at that point, 57-53 for her team to win that semi-final game between them and the Customs ladies of Abuja. So MFM, congratulations to both teams. Both MFM. It's just painful that the two of them had to meet at that semi-final stage to determine who goes through to the competition proper. That is the Women's Basketball League Africa. All right, let's leave basketball and now we'll talk NPFL quickly. Before we look at this particular story, let's have the result, NPFL result, those match the 11 result, because the result is actually what we are going to look at before we talk about this story. And it was one of the away wins in the Nigerian Premier Football League for match the 11, where Bendel Insurance lost at the Samuel Ogbomudia Stadium to Kano Pillars. And the story we are looking at is actually after that victory, the victory trees Rabiu Ali. If we can have, if we have the full result, we'll be looking at it. But for that particular victory at the Samuel Ogbomudia Stadium, all right, we have the result now. Katsina United lost to Ikorodu City. That is one of the away win of the match 11. Enyimba also played a goalless draw. We have Heartland beating Sunshine Stars of Akure. We actually looked at that particular game, where a story concerning that game as Kennedy Bubuye resigned his position as coach of Sunshine Stars. And then for Nasarawa United, another away win there between them and Kwara United at the Lafia Township Stadium. Niger Tornadoes beat Akwa United 1-0. Plateau United and Enugu Rangers ended goalless. And there are some stories surrounding that particular fixture where the players, unconfirmed stories yet, because for Plateau United, they've debunked that. They've denied any form of attack on Enugu Rangers player. We will be bringing that story once it's confirmed in that particular game. For Rabiu Ali, after that win over the Bendel Insurance, he said, victory over Bendel Insurance trees Rabiu Ali. He is a happy man ever since Ahmed Musa joined that team. He is the captain of Kano Pillars, but when Ahmed Musa joined the team, the respect was given to Ahmed Musa, and he handed the captain armband back to Ahmed Musa in that team. So it was one of those away wins in the Nigerian Premier Football League for match day 11. If we can quickly have that table, for that win for Kano Pillars, it actually did them good. If you can look at the first side of the table, probably where Kano Pillars is standing, and see, because they are actually pushing. They won the Nigerian Premier Football League on 4 occasions. That is Kano Pillars. They really want to see if they can make it the 5th one. Now, with that win, after that win, Kano Pillars are now 5th on the log with 17 points and 1 goal difference. Same number of points between them and Niger Tornadoes. And Remo Stars at the top, Shooting Stars occupying the first side of the table with 50 points. So for Kano Pillars, I think it's work in progress. Let's see how they can pull through this season and become better. Rabiu Ali, Captain Fantastic, they call him. And also, he follows the footsteps of Abu Treka, who played with Al Ali in Egypt. For Rabiu Ali, he has never played in any other club apart from Kano Pillars here in Nigeria, as in any club or even other leagues of the world or Africa. So he has been playing all his life in the Nigerian Premier Football League. So we give him respect for that, for not joining his colleagues who love to at least visit other leagues, play in other leagues in Europe and on the continent of Africa. All right, let's leave the Nigerian Premier Football League now and quickly talk about women's football. But this time around, we'll go straight to Sweden. Yes, it's always a good news when we see our players, Super Falcons players, Super Eagles players, doing well for their respective clubs. Now, the story this evening is that Swedish Women's League win excites Super Falcons Halimatu Ayinde. If we remember, just some weeks, let's say some days to the Super Falcons going to Paris Olympic Games, this lady was injured, and that brought a vacuum into that midfield of the Super Falcons. But right now, she's back up and running, and her team, Rosengard FC in Sweden, has lifted the Women's League title, which it was a good one. They won the same title in 2022. So Rosengard now, they are the champions of this Swedish Women's League in Europe, where we have our own Super Falcons midfielder Halimatu Anyide. So congratulations to her and all of her teammates for making the coaches, the management of that team, Rosengard FC, proud in the Swedish Women's League. This time around, we'll now look at the Men's League. We'll look at about two of those leagues in the morning. This time around, we'll be looking at the rest. That is the top 5 European league. We'll start with the German Bundesliga this evening. Let's look at the result. We have Union Berlin and Freiburg playing a goalless draw. And for Bayer Leverkusen, it has not really, it's been a topsy-turvy one for them. Bochum and Bayer Leverkusen playing a 1-1 draw. They had the last season winner, that is Bayer Leverkusen of Victor Boniface, Patrick Schick, rescuing point for them against Bochum. Mainz 05 beat Borussia Dortmund 3-1. While St. Pauli lost to Bayern Munich 1-0. Werder Bremen beat Holstein Kiel 2-1. Leipzig and Borussia Mönchengladbach played a goalless draw. The same scoreline between Augsburg and Hoffen, goalless. And Stuttgart in a 5-goal thriller lost to Eintracht Frankfurt 3-2. And Heidenheim were beaten by Wolfsburg 3-1. So those are the games for the German Bundesliga. Now let's look at the table for Bayern Munich under their new manager, that is Vincent Kompany. They continue to see if they can rescue the title they lost to Bayer Leverkusen back this season. They top the table with 26 points, 5 points ahead of the second place Leipzig. Eintracht Frankfurt is third with 20 points, and Bayer Leverkusen is now fourth with 17 points. Same points with Freiburg, who are fifth. Union Berlin sixth with 16 points. We have Borussia Dortmund on the 7th position with 16 points, and Werder Bremen 8th with 15 points. Borussia Mönchengladbach is on the 9th position with 14 points, and Mainz 05 on the 10th position with 13 points. The second side of the table, let's look at it, is the 18-man table. 18-man team table. We have VfB Stuttgart on 11th position with 13 points. Wolfsburg 12 with 12 points. Augsburg is 13 with 12 points, and Heidenheim 14 with 10 points. Hoffen 15 position with 9 points. St. Pauli, Holstein Kiel, and VfL Bochum. All of them occupying the 16th, 17th, and 18th position respectively. The good thing is that in the German Bundesliga, teams don't just go to relegation. From they have to play that is what we call relegation playoff. So even though you end the season on the 18th position, when the relegation playoff starts, you can still rescue your season back and remain in the top flight. It's a 18-month table, 18-month competition in the German Bundesliga. Now let's go straight to the Italian Serie A. Yes, over the weekend, Super Eagles players in the Italian Serie A also shone like a million stars. Two of them met, Atlanta against Udinese, and for Ademola Lookman, he couldn't pass the Maduka Okoye in that particular game. Lecce and Empoli started the weekend on a 1-1 affair. We have Venezia against Parma 2-1. Cagliari and AC Milan in a 6-goal thriller ended 3-3. Juventus defeated Torino 2-0. Atlanta defeated Udinese 2-1, where Ademola Lookman was not on the score sheet. But for Udinese, Maduka Okoye was fantastic, though his team lost 2-1 in that game to Atalanta. Fiorentina defeated Hellas Verona 3-1. Roma and Bologna in a 5-goal thriller 3-2 ended. Roma now having a lot of issues in that team. And then Monza lost to Lazio. That is the team of Dele Bashiru. Lazio, they defeated Monza 1-0. Inter Milan and Napoli, the two strong teams this season, first and second position in the Italian Serie A, ended at the San Siro. It was 1-1. And then Genoa and Como also playing a 1-1 draw. Let's quickly look at the table for the Italian Serie A. Despite that draw, Napoli remains at the top with 26 points, just 1 point ahead of Atalanta now. We have Fiorentina, who are third with 25 points. Inter Milan are 4th with 25 points. Lazio are 5th with 25 points. Juventus 6th with 24 points. AC Milan is 7th with 18 points. Bologna is 8th with 18 points. Udinese is 9th with 16 points. And we have Empoli on the 10th position with 15 points. The second side of the table, quickly, let's look at how teams are standing. Torino, Roma, Parma, Hellas Verona, Como 1907, Cagliari, Genoa, Lecce, Monza, and Venezia. The newly promoted team is at the bottom with just 8 points after 12 games played. All right, let's go straight to the French Ligue 1 quickly. We have in the French Ligue 1 games were also played over the weekend. In French Ligue 1, PSG continued to grind out win at all costs. Life after Kylian Mbappe has really been sweet for PSG. Olympique Marseille lost to Auxerre 3-1. Strasbourg 1, Monaco 3, Lens 3, Nantes 2. Moses Simon was on score sheet for Nantes, but it was not enough to rescue a point for his team against Lens. And Gaz SEO lost to PSG 4-2. Nice and Luxley played a 2-2 draw. Le Havre and Reims, it was 3-0 hammering of Le Havre at home. Montpellier beat Brest 3-1. Rennes lost to Toulouse 2-0. And Olympique Lyonnais pipped Saint-Etienne 1-0. Let's just look at the first side of the table quickly for the French Ligue 1. We already know that PSG remains at the top with 29 points, 6 points ahead of AS Monaco, who are second. Marseille are third. Lille is 4th. Lyon is 5th. Nice is 6th with 17 points. Reims is 7th with 17 points. Lens is 8th with 17 points. And we have Auxerre on the 9th position with 16 points. And Toulouse is on the 10th position with 15 points. Let's quickly take some transfers on the show this evening quickly. We have Manchester United. Surprisingly, I know a lot of Man U fans and Chelsea fans will be surprised at this particular story, where Manchester United eyes Chelsea striker, that is Christopher Nkunku, where surprisingly this guy has not really gotten it right under Enzo Maresca, the new coach of Chelsea. And then the second transfer story this evening is that Manchester City targets Real Madrid midfielder Federico Valverde. Now, Man City is feeling the heat, the absence of Rodri and KDB at the middle of the back. Before we go away from the show, let's quickly take this NBA result. It is the biggest franchise in the world. They call it. We have Golden State Warriors beating Oklahoma City Thunder 127 to 116 points. Miami Heat and Minnesota Timberwolves just 1 point against Minnesota Timberwolves in that game, 95-94. Charlotte Hornets and Philadelphia 76ers ended on the same number of points, 97-97. Same with Sacramento Kings and Phoenix Suns, 111 points apiece for both teams. Dallas Mavericks beat Denver Nuggets by lost to Denver Nuggets by 2 points, 122 to 120. Memphis Grizzlies hammered Portland Trail Blazers 134 to 89 points. And for LA Lakers, it was 123 win over Toronto Raptors. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the show Sports Update this evening. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.